Greetings and blessings, beautiful souls. This is Alicia Barney Madahari, and I am back today again with another pick a card reading. Today we have 3 piles, and we are asking, what is it? How is your absence felt? So take a moment. We have pile number 1 with this lovely dragonfly, have courage. We have these die. And we have this beautiful crystal for pile 3 that is Amazonite, this carved figurine. So whichever pile is calling to you, pause the video if you must, and I am going to get started with pile 1. So I'm just going to pop pile 1 up here so that you know it is you. And before I get started, if you like my content, please feel free to like, comment, and share, and subscribe. And welcome back for returning visitors, and for newbies, welcome, welcome. So we get into your oracle cards first, pile number 1. From the animal oracle deck, we have lion spirit. Be generous of spirit. That's a beautiful energy. Ooh, Hathor. Allow yourself to receive. This will increase your intuition, energy, and ability to give to others. Lovely. Earthy colors so far. Gorgeous. Oh, from the rose deck. Held. Gorgeous. Sureness of the soil. So I'm feeling more earth, the Mother Gaia here. Unseen help, support, community. Let's just pop. Oh, and I don't know if you can see, she's so beautiful. This wise crone energy. Gorgeous. And then there's somebody being held in here in fetal position. And we've got 2 cards from the fairy deck. So first we've got Mikala Muckle, card number 49. And we have got She of the Kura. Beautiful, beautiful. Card number 5. Straight away, I'm getting some messages for you. Like immediately, I'm feeling Mother Gaia. Hathor, of course, is the great mother from the Egyptian pantheon. And she's kind of like the mother of mothers. And Isis would have been descended from, she would have been descended from her. And it was said that from Ra, that Hathor, she uses vibration, but she got the secrets of manifestation from Ra. She of the Kura, that's also the receptive principle. So we have, this will allow yourself to receive. And then we've got receptivity here. And it's really, the light in the blue is really shining out. So it's really reminding me of the throat chakra, the power of your voice, the power of your vibration. And vibration is the power of Hathor as well. She uses, is it a sistrum? Sistrum is her tool and her weapon. And that's how she uses the power of vibration to protect and to manifest. So it's both sides. And then of course, lion spirit, be generous of spirit. When your cup is filled for you, then you can give. When you're in scarcity mode, you're obviously in survival mode, and you don't have the ability to give because you're not sufficiently nourished to give to others. And in a maturity level as well. So if you think about in humans or in babies or the animal kingdom, when babies are born, they're so dependent on mother. So mother has that like giving, nurturing. She gives of her body. I mean, she delivers the child as well. And even the adult male combines with the mother to conceive the child and So it's a giving energy. And then Mother Gaia, of course, we're all part of Mother Gaia's rhythm and part of her ecosystem, for want of a better word. We're all an extension of Mother Gaia. We are nature. Nature is not, we don't exist in nature. We are part of nature. And then held, sureness of the soil, unseen help, support, community. And that's really reminding me of like, you're just very, very held by your spirit guides. And I feel like that connection that you have is really felt by the people in your presence. Michael is a call to kind of adventure. In the Fae, it's like great things come in little packages, which again is reminding me of kind of, I'm feeling the innocence of childhood and the beginner's mind. So the ability to be able to have that beginner's mind, to have that, not that innocence, purity is what I'm looking for. To be able to have that purity, to be able to bring yourself back to your vibration, your own natural vibration. So we have a lot of feminine energies that you vibrate in. But in order to be able to work with those energies and to be able to protect those energies and to be able to protect those around us, we need to have the strong masculine energies within us. The ability to protect, the ability to do, the ability to be strategic, the ability to think, the ability, the fire element as well. So, I mean, if you think about it, even from the elements point of view, the fire and thinking, again, back to the throat, well, the air element is actually the heart chakra. So that used to surprise me very often, because I would automatically, when I started looking, learning about chakras and things first, I automatically thought that, the sacral chakra, where, we kind of deal with emotions, would be the I automatically thought that the heart would be where the emotions kind of reside, but it's not. It's actually, I mean, obviously they're all connected, but without clarity and without discernment and without those abilities to navigate that, we can't we can't operate in alignment with spirit in the way if we're out of balance in those energies too. And the other thing is that, emotional regulation. So that's another kind of a blending of the ability to feel our emotions, to alchemize them, and to process them. So like, if you think about it, so Mother Gaia, we're rooted into the ground. With our root chakra, we're rooted into the earth. So we're rooted into, where we come from, our families, the things that our natural rhythm, our natural vibration. And then we have emotions, which are in the water chakra, which is the next chakra up. However, the emotions don't necessarily mean the truth, but you do need then the fire energy, which is the solar plexus, to be able to alchemize that and take action, turn those emotions into your work in the world, or your whatever it is that you're bringing forth in the world. So I think you have really good mastery of masculine and feminine energies at this point. And maybe you naturally were that way when you were, pure. We come in pure, apart from our past life karmas, obviously, and lessons that we have to learn. And a lot of the ancient, more Eastern cultures, I guess, where astrology is has been more mainstream, they'll look at a child's chart and they will know, they'll use that as an auspicious map to help guide the child. Whereas in Western culture, we haven't been doing that so much, especially since, again, I want to say maybe formalized religion. I'm going to pull some tarot cards and see, but I feel like you really bring this kind of nurturing to the community. and you're quite adventurous. You're not childish, you're childlike. Obviously, when you were a child, you would have been childish because we have to learn how to be a grown human. We've got the Four of Wands. So that again is that's Barney energy. It's also the twin flame card. It is celebration, all those kinds of things. So it's a fire energy. Sun, we're seeing Sun, and we're seeing double Leo there as well with that card. So we'll keep pulling some. Oh, Eight of Wands. So interesting. Again, you've got more fire energy. Ooh. This is the Justice card. Nine of Wands. Oh, Judgment. Ooh, wow. Five of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles. And you have the Page of Swords. Okay. So how your absence is felt is you, pile one, have been a very, and I'm even noticing Have Courage and the dragonfly here was also your, I guess your marker for pile one. There's a very, you've got a very courageous energy about you, and a very, Mikkel Muckle also talks about a call to adventure, and it's actually reminding me of Jack London. He wrote his in San Francisco, in, I think it's in the museum down in Embarcadero. There's he had a boat that he built, and it's called a Snark, and he went sailing in it. And I remember reading, he wrote a book about it called The Cruise of the Snark, and on the inside he talks about a desire that he had of circumnavigating the world, but on the inside. So that always stuck out to me, and I thought that was really interesting. So I think you have a really unique way of looking at things and reframing things. And I think people come to you not only for the nurturing, but also for the adventure and the childlike ability to kind of reframe, to find the adventure in things, to, you could probably just sit there and tell stories. It's reminding me of Out of Africa, that movie. And in that movie, what's her name? Meryl Streep. She is talking to the character played by Robert Redford and his friend, and the question is can you tell a story? And she starts off with this story, and she totally captivates them, and she just ad-libs it the whole way. But I feel like you have that really, really creative, entertaining, but also imagination. You could have easily had imaginary friends as kids. Maybe you were just talking to your guides, or maybe you were just getting downloads. That's been repeated here for me with the Page of Swords. I feel like you're very clued into the messages that you get, and you might have seemed smaller than maybe some of the more powerful people that you were around, but your ability, and that's coming through as they kind of seeing you as the page, but also you were able to kind of give them messages that they're now starting to realize that you're very tuned in, and you're actually more boss than they ever gave you credit for. You're highly spiritual. When you're not around, the adventure goes away, the fun goes away, the joy goes away. And I mean, you find that adventure in daily life, and I think it's because you have a very, very rich inner world. You're also incredibly being around you is incredibly nurturing, and you're not afraid to be bold and be yourself and be in your own energy. You're not afraid to be wrong. I think it was what's his name? Ooh, somebody like, I'm hearing a quote, tell me a man who's afraid to make a fool of himself, and I'll tell you a man who learns nothing. It might have been someone like George Bernard Shaw. I'm not 100% sure. I'd need to look it up. But I think that when the eight of wands as well, I'm just seeing that as a 4 and an 8, like this doubling down on just creativity and being so connected to who you are. Like you're so plugged into who you are. And with that, you have good karmas. But I feel like people, they may have taken credit. And when I say by taking credit, so when you're in a relationship and the relationship is going really well, I think you were doing a lot of the work in the relationships that you were in. And a lot of that comes from your authenticity, your courage, your just ability to be able to alchemize these emotions. The alchemize, like, I'm seeing such a survivor and thriver energy I'm feeling from you. I'm hearing that song, I get knocked down and I get get up again. So people have watched you just, fail forward a lot and not just be not give up. And I think that that's like having that resilience and that stamina. And that's been echoed for me with the Knight of Pentacles. So maybe they might have thought you were away with the fairies back in the day. Who knows? And maybe some of the people that you've moved away from and that you've left in, kind of the wake of your life. I don't know where you are in the journey. Maybe they're now feeling burdened and feeling that, judgment is upon them because they didn't recognize the wealth that you brought. They kind of felt that you were the one that was lacking when you were the powerhouse all along. And that really is that phrase, you don't know what you have until it's gone. Like, you don't miss it. Like, your presence, I think when you leave, I'm seeing the color go out of life for people, but they may not have given you, I'm really getting that they didn't even recognize to the degree that the light and the sun, and we've got like triple Leo energy here for me. And then we have it again a 4th time. Like, you were probably the sunshine in a lot of groups and a lot of energies that you were in. A very old soul. I think you really speak to people's inner children, and I'm sure you draw a lot of people in who potentially struggled with needed to reparent their inner child. Let's put it that way. And you may have had to do that yourself. I mean, if you're a starseed, for example, there's a good chance that you entered into a family or a life where you were around people that potentially didn't have good families of origin, like healthy families of origin. Maybe there was addiction in the family. Maybe there was, an area of growing up in an area of conflict, so the resources wasn't there. Maybe there was poverty. Maybe there was, mental health issues, all of that kind of thing. There is, I'm just reading that there's this oracle deck comes with the soul inquiry for each of these cards. And the soul inquiry here is, how can you call in more support in your life? What's holding you right now? So I think that you were that for people, and they didn't understand that they needed to ask themselves that question. I think you're very good at, using what you have at you're very resourceful. You're very good at like turning your emotions and your energy into energy to drive you forward. I'm not saying that terrible things don't happen in your life, and they probably have done at some stage, because I'm now feeling that in order to be this powerful and this strong, and the cards that have come out with the Judgment and the Justice, you could be someone who's a karma for people if they don't treat you right. It's interesting because I'm noticing a lot of celebrities on the internet now, and a lot of speakers. I think Brené Brown has a series on it as well. I've seen Jordan Peterson, but I've also seen a bunch of celebrities, and there's a thread going on, why did, God put this narcissist in your life? So I think you could have been around a lot of narcissism, and there's a bunch of talks about it. What happens when a narcissist comes against a really pure person and all that. So you could have walked that kind of path. I'm feeling that really strong, actually. They're showing me the Hermit card now, and that makes sense because it's, again, the Cruise of the Snark. It's the inside. So I think, and again, back to your rich inner world, you always knew how to use your voice, and that's the 5 is jumping out to me as well, because that's the 5th chakra. Very, very, very close to your guides, but the throat chakra is kind of the bridge. Once you're stable in your other chakras, that's required for being able to use the kind of the higher chakras in an effective way. Otherwise, things can go a little bit wonky. And it's reminding me of, if you're not stable in kind of the lower chakras, your intentions may not be grounded. And I'm getting the 10 of Cups now for you, and we're seeing the eagle here, and the eagle is and the 8 of Cups. So I feel like your 10 of Cups involved having to leave situations that you were emotionally invested in. You may have had, and this is moon energy again, more mother. Hathor is a moon goddess. The eagle is typically, and we have the Ace of Cups. You can't write this stuff. My gosh. And then the Queen of Swords. So you have had to learn how to become discerning. You were always connected to spirit, but you may have had to learn how to protect that connection. And you may have been carrying other people's burdens for longer than that would have kept you from your 10 of Cups, that would have kept you from receiving spirit's gifts and really embodying your true heart. I'm hearing brave heart. You could be, being very drawn to the body as well, and that's with Hathor again. I'm just seeing movement, dancing, maybe even sweating. It's also reminding me of, so we have all of this beautiful nurturing energy, but then you have to think about the other side of the divine feminine energy. That's Kali. That's white buffalo lady, white buffalo woman. They have to be discerning. They have to get rid of the attachments. So you may have been someone who had to walk that path. I mean, all of us have to do that to a degree, but that might have been something that you were really having to work on. And I love this Justice card because, well, in this deck, the Justice card is not card 11 because they're switched, the Strength and the Justice card. But in this card is the Lion. Lady Justice is blindfolded. So she's blind to she's blind to anything but the truth, is the way I want to put it. She sees the truth with her heart, with her third eye. She feels the truth. And we're back to this. And that's reminding me of feelings versus emotions. So we're back to that. So you have learned that emotions and feelings are different things. So you've learned to tap into, that feeling in your gut when I'm in such and such a situation. So maybe you've had potentially some trauma that you've had to learn how to process, that you've had to deal with your emotions, that you've had to learn how to process in your body. And often when we go through things like that we get up in our head, and bringing those two things back together, the body and the mind, and being safe in our body, especially when we've experienced some trauma, it's very common for us to want to escape out of our bodies and into our heads. And I don't know, this might be for one person, I don't know why it's coming up, but I'm hearing you may have been gaslit a lot. And that is like, you felt it in you felt something was off, but they were like, no, I'm doing this for such and such a reason. I'm doing this because I protect you. I was listening to somebody today talking about how their parents was like taught them money and was like, okay, now pretend you're buying a carrot. This is how you use money. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, your parents taught you that? I just didn't know that was the thing. I would do that with my kids, but I definitely didn't get that. You just kind of had to figure those things out on your own. And I was listening to somebody else talking about, you how to make a decision, how to know when something is good for you, how to say no and when to say no. And I remember growing up, like my dad used to always say, you must learn how to say no. But he never let anyone say no to him in our house. He was very tyrannical. And what it does is it teaches you it's not that you don't tell the truth, but it teaches you to shut down, because if you speak the truth or you speak your desires, that it's going to be a no, you're going to be attacked for it or something like that. So you just learn to do things in secret. And that phrase, you're as sick as your secrets. So I think, again, back to the voice, speaking out. Maybe you had the journey where you had to learn how to, and Hathor again, vibration, sing your song, maybe dance your song, maybe express yourself and be courageous in doing that. Maybe you came from a household where, children should be seen and not heard. And, what mother says goes, or what father says goes, or something like that. And that's very, that you then have to go out into the workforce and into relationships and learn how to navigate your needs when your needs were never met at home, potentially. And that's an example. It could be something different. The other thing that I'm hearing is once is a pattern. So when I remember listening to a Swami once, and he was talking about how the gross comes from the subtle. And it's a yogic principle, or it's a universal principle actually, but thoughts become things. So where you direct your energy, and a lot of manifestation doesn't come from like, I want a bike, I want a car, I want a husband, I want $1 million, I want a blah, 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 blah. I want. Manifestation comes from your subconscious. Manifestation comes from living as if. Manifestation comes from tapping into the emotions and the feelings in your body. So they're not necessarily the same. If you're saying the words, but your body is like, that is never going to happen. Like you're kind of cutting yourself off before you even before you even get forward. So you're kind of almost canceling out the manifestation by having the resistance, and what resists persists. So you end up in this maybe no man's land. So you may have gone through a stage where maybe you were very good at manifesting when you were younger, and then things got stagnant because potentially we were sent to school and we got corrected and red marks and da 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 da. And as you grow up, you're kind of conditioned into a certain way of society. And of course, it depends where you grow up culturally as well. You know, the different roles of men and women, the different roles within society. You know, how your family is structured, and that, you know, we get indoctrinated into cultures and belief systems. And maybe you were always a bit of an outlier, and maybe they tried to, you know, I'm hearing break your spirit. That why would you want to break somebody's spirit? I don't really understand that. That's not the same as discipline. Discipline is giving yourself a command and allowing yourself to follow it. You know, we all need to be able to, in a healthy world, we all need to be able to stand up for ourselves and be able to like adult ourselves. There's so many people running around who, you know, have never heard the word no, and who, you know, just use their power to bully other people into submission. And a lot of people can be at the whim of others because they don't have the resources to stand up to them. And oh my goodness, it's reminding me of the children of Lear, which is it's a Celtic tale. And at the very, very end of it, I'm not going to go into it because I've been talking for quite a bit now and it's been a long reading, so I'm going to sign off pretty quickly. But it's basically at the end, there's a queen who sends her guards to take something from a holy man, the children of Lear basically. And the holy man is like, I answer to a higher authority. I don't recognize the king. And I feel like that's it. The truth. You have learned to really sit in the truth, as painful as it could be. And I was talking about the other side of the divine feminine, which is Kali, to me. And it's that burning of attachments. Lady Justice, she only sees the truth, irrespective of whether it's, you know, her family or somebody that she loves. She still expects truth, and she's loyal to the truth. So I'm getting very Hierophant energy from you, and I'm hearing Little Mother, and it's reminding me of Dune the movie. And you know, Paul's sister, the mother drinks the Lady Jessica drinks the bile of the worm, and she becomes the Reverend Mother for the Fremen, and she's pregnant with Alia at the time. And then Alia gets born with all of the knowledge and wisdom and gifts of the Reverend Mother. So I'm feeling like that's you guys in a nutshell. So how you're missed, pile number one, is that your divinity and reverence and spiritual gifts are now being felt. I'm not going to say that they... I feel like a lot of the people that you were around maybe are not really potentially spiritual, or if they are, or if they've become spiritual, I feel like that they have now started to recognize that in fact you were always a goddess. And I mean that whether you're male or female, you always had that divine energy, and I feel like that's really been recognized right now. So that's what I have for you, pile number 1. So I'm going to move on to pile number 2. Bye. Pile number 2. You had the die. And these die are a reminder that God always plays with loaded dice. So pile number 2. Giraffe spirit. See the big picture. Fast. Independent. Your independence is a foundation for your strength and success. The Holy Grail. Stop the endless searching. Inner quest. Gorgeous. There's a deer in the background. And we've got an eagle up here. And gotcha. Gotcha. I don't know if that's how you say that. Gotcha. Sudden shock, unexpected events, rude awakenings. He's the out of the blue fairy. He likes to surprise you. So I think pile number 2. I'm getting some messages for you already, but I'm going to take... It's so cute. I'm going to pull out some tarot for you and we'll get into it. But I'm feeling... I'm feeling the messages come through. First of all, I think that you're probably very... oh my goodness. High Priestess. Ace of Cups. I think that you're very connected to animals, whether or not you know that. 8 of Swords. 8 of Cups. 10 of Pentacles. One more. One more. Judgment. Judgment came out in the last pile too. So this is the Way of the Panda tarot deck. Love this tarot deck. So straight away, I feel like you, even though Bast came up, I'm also feeling Isis energy. I feel like you are the glue in a lot of communities that you're in. Your family, your friend groups, often work situations, and then the spread is you bring color and richness to these people. And Bast, we've got strength. We've got the Strength card out and the High Priestess. So you're highly intuitive and very connected to spirit. Without you, people experience tower moments. Things fall apart when you're not there. You're the glue holding them together. Like I said, I keep hearing glue. And the Holy Grail. When you're not there, people are forced to go within. Well, no one's forced to go within. People are invited to go within. Seeing the big picture, when you're out of the picture, if they can, it's a nice little paradox. If they can zoom out and see the big picture and recognize to go within, they'll recognize the gifts in the tower moments. But I think it's shocking when you leave because you're so even though you're so independent, you're incredibly loving, you're incredibly intuitive, you're incredibly deep, and you bring such a richness to them. When you leave, they don't know, they rely on you so much that they don't know necessarily how to move in a way that they kind of used you as their navigator in a lot of ways. And then we've got another we've got another leaving card. You were very good at helping them navigate towers, things that they were emotionally invested in, things really, really, really good at helping them, sitting with them, looking beyond the debris and the rubble, and really understanding what they truly have. You're incredibly compassionate. Huge, huge. I mean, being around you feels like being close to God. And losing you feels like judgment. Because it is. Because you're someone who doesn't move away from people unless they've hurt you. Or you know how to move on to the next thing. So you know that phrase that they say that some people are in your life for a reason, some for a season, and some for a lifetime. So if you're moving away from a relationship that's a lifetime relationship, you're not going to move away from that relationship unless you have damn good reason to do so. And those people you have to move away from. And those people experience judgment after you're gone, because you are one of those pure souls, and you have a mission. I mean, you've got the Holy Grail here. You're like a Holy Grail in a community that they don't really recognize until it's taken away. And I mean, I definitely am a conspiracy. I love the conspiracy theorists, but I'm not going to tell anyone what to believe, but I do not believe that the Holy Grail was a magic cup. I do not believe that. It was something different. And you can look into that and the theories about that for yourself. But I have my own beliefs about that. And I'm, maybe they'll evolve and change. I don't know. But what I do know is that I'm open and I like to evolve my knowledge. And I like to go on inner journeys to inner quests to open up to what is available. And I feel like you do that too. And you may have been blamed, shamed, ridiculed for that, but I feel like you're very intuitive, you're very deep, but people can often find it to be, when you leave, I keep seeing this, funnily enough, I keep seeing this as the Ten of Swords. I feel like when you leave relationships, and you leave them for good reason, not always because somebody's done you dirty, because you are a sovereign being. You are incredibly independent, and your independence is a foundation for your strength and your success. Like, you can't. Oh gosh, I remember one time they're showing me this. I was on a sailboat in Hawaii, and the sailboat was called Silver Girl. And I remember the guy who owned it, I remember saying to him, I was like, "Oh, bridge over troubled waters, sail on Silver Girl." And he was like, "Nobody has ever gotten that." And I made the connection straight away. But I remember him saying to me, "You can do anything you want in life, but you cannot do everything." And I was in my early 20s at the time, and it just really, really stuck with me. And it was the first time I'd heard that phrase. I've heard it again since. But I feel like when you leave to go on to do something, like you might go on and do something for, when it's for you, but not against somebody else, that some people might be like, "How very dare you? Come back. I don't want you to leave. I'm emotionally invested in you." And, again, we're back to that phrase. Some people come into your life for a reason or for a season. So maybe some of the seasonal, you could have some kind of nomadic life where I'm thinking of, like, if you were in the Peace Corps, or, you worked in overseas, maybe you lived somewhere and then you went back home, or maybe you kind of connected with somebody from maybe you have you have a global network, perhaps. You could have been in humanitarian work or embassy work or something like that. But I think when people do you dirty, they experience judgment from the divine, and they get karma, and they can see you as like, how dare you move away, because now my 10th pentacle is gone. And you're like, but what about my 10 of pentacles? I'm allowed to. And you are very strong in your own self and your own convictions, and you may not even know that people are like, potentially even I'm seeing somebody throwing a stick, like you're riding your bicycle and somebody's throwing a stick through the spokes of the wheel, and you like get thrown head over. And it's reminding me of that song Once Upon Another Time by Sarah Bareilles. Beautiful song, beautiful song. So there might be some messages in that for you. So as much as I'm seeing all this beautiful energy and color, I feel like people might be quite possessive of you and might be quite possessive of your energy, and might get a bit put out, let's say, when you invest in yourself and you move on, and kind of like maybe you want to live abroad, and or even going off to college. Maybe you could have one of, maybe your mother was severely empty nester, averse, and kind of made it difficult for you. I mean, that's only an example. We've got the Hierophant out here. And you're very, like, you answer to you answer to your own higher self and to God. You're very, very connected to your own path. And you may not have understood why things were like not working out for you as much as they were. Not at times. Part of that was because, maybe you didn't get the support that you needed to put your own things in place from people around you who didn't want you to leave. We've got the Lovers, and that's the people who are around you. The Lovers is also, that's the people who are around you day to day, like your siblings, the people that you work with, your community. But it's also the Choice card, and it's also kind of the, signifies it's the moment before. It's a choice point. For me, it's a karmic point. Like, and when I mean karmic, I mean like it's a stage in life point almost. It's like it's do I go this way or that way? So it's the Choice card. And again, we've got the Three of Wands. So again, I don't mean that. So, but that for me is, there's crystals here. He's got his little unicorn on there. So I feel like you're very, very unique, and people want to, possess that. I'm getting possession a lot, and I'm hearing that. What is it? The White Stripes song. Put her in your pocket. So you might have people just trying to cage you in future faking, in manipulation, in trying to block your intuition, and maybe trying to weaken you, not giving you the props that you deserve. Bast is also reminding me of Sekhmet as well. And then the other thing is, I'm hearing that people might have used you as their human shield. So you might have had to, like, maybe you were kept in the dark about a bunch of things, and there were people that you had to leave, because we've got the Eight of Swords here. So the Eight of Swords being that, you had the power to leave all the time. And 8-8 here. You had the power to leave all the time, but maybe you didn't see it because your intuition was blocked because of the possession that was around you. But when you leave, sudden shock, because you're so loving. They just think that because you're loving and because you're nice and you're pleasant, that you don't have that strength to walk away or to move on or to say, nah, or when you find out the truth. And again, the High Priestess for me is a very really speaks to the truth. Obviously, the Hierophant as well. And in order to be strong, you have to deal in truth. You just have to. You have to see the big picture. And then again, we've got this Isis energy. And Isis, again, another moon goddess, intuitive. But she also, you know, the story of Isis is she had to put the pieces of her husband back together. So there's betrayal energy. But there's also incredible strength and independence here. I'm getting like fierce and also but also very loving. So, and Bast is Sekhmet as well. I'm really being drawn to the Egyptian pantheon. So I don't know if you've had past lives in Egypt. If you're interested in Egyptian mythology, Egyptian stuff, the technical term. But it might be something to look into. And I remember seeing I think it was a Billy Carson talk on where he was saying how the hieroglyphs, like there's hieroglyphs with of, you know, spaceships and things like that back in the day. So I love all that kind of stuff. I think it's absolutely fascinating. But even, I don't know, maybe visiting some of those places, and not necessarily like Egypt potentially, but even going to sacred sites that maybe your crystals, the crystals in your body, like resonate, and that you get downloads, or you unlock certain gifts, or you feel energies, or you get connected to certain energies. But I think you're a bit of a walking karmic lesson for people when they play well with you and they support you. I feel like that brings them good karmas. But when they disrespect you and they block you and you leave, I feel like they experience judgment. They experience kind of a blindness. And if they refuse to go in, you know, that's their choice. You're no longer there to be their navigator. And I think that's really how you're missed by people, pile number 2. I want to pull actually a Journey of Love card for you for some reason. I'm just being called to do that. You've got incredibly, I keep seeing Sekhmet, and Sekhmet is just, you know, she's very loving, but she's kind of, I guess, the Egyptian equivalent for me of, oh, beautiful. 25, seat of the heart. Just that loving energy. And again, I'm seeing just truth. The blue is just absolutely stunning. I just want to pull the book for this card and see what it has to say. So there's a little poem at the end of it. Seed of the heart. Within each one of us is a divine seed of love waiting to blossom into fullness. And I think that people are seeing you blossom, especially when you move away and you're in your independence, because when you're not left to kind of bloom, if you're not left to bloom naturally and nurtured, like, you don't know what's going to grow. And I'm hearing that line from the Colors of the Wind. How high can a sycamore grow? If you cut it down, you'll never know. So at the end of this, we have, when sky can imagine the dark awake, in awe light pervades, and bears the vast tranquil mystery, softly caressing the blue bold birth. Beautiful. Trust. Know that the seed in your heart knows how to grow, and life supports it. It's also a sign that something in your relationship is sprouting. A new energy. Don't be afraid. Try new ways of relating now as if your life energy supports it. I think that's the message that you bring to people, and they have a choice whether they want to step into that or not. And I think you do that very naturally and very well when you're in a supportive environment. And if you're not, I think you just have the strength to walk away. And again, I'm getting Kali energy. Kali in the Indian pantheon, she slays attachments. but I'm hearing awake, awake, awake. And so when you slay the attachments and you're connected to spirit, because you have the Hierophant too, she's very good at that death energy, at navigating that death energy in a beautiful, beautiful way. And that's kind of what the Eight of Cups is for me. And awake, you know, I'm from Ireland, and you know, after somebody passes, we have awake and we celebrate their lives. And it's more of a, it's typically, there's a lot of joy in that if it's done right. But it's reminding me of the nuance, being awake, being spiritually awake, just knowing that death is, and I'm seeing the Tibetan, what is it, the Book of the Dead. There's one in I think Shivananda, and I think there's one there's a Buddhist one, Tibetan Book of the Dead or something. Don't quote me on it. Anyway, pile number 2, that's all I have for you. Your energy is absolutely beautiful. Thank you for stopping by. Hope to see you again. And if you like my content, please feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you at another reading. Bye, number 2. And with that, I'm going to get into pile number 3. Pile number 3. You had the beautiful aventurine carved crystal. Just gorgeous. Just gorgeous. So how are you missed, pile number 3? You have got turtle spirit. Slow and steady wins the race. It's giving me my Knight of Pentacles energy. Oh, after the rain, silver lining, relief, hope, mercy. It's over, acceptance. And then the rainbow here. Oh, so beautiful. A lot of water energy here. Soulless, bodies of water. Spend time near water such as a lake, river, or the ocean to recharge your batteries. Well, and the retriever. I need to look at the book because I can't read that. 41. That is... Oh, I don't know if I'm saying this right. Ilbe the Retriever. Office of Unclaimed Property, hopes, wishes, loyalty. Ilbe is trying to remind you of something you've lost. A hope, perhaps, a dream. You may have thought it was gone forever, but he is holding it out to you for your reconsideration. He thinks you can do something with it now. The way may not be obvious, but his clever nose has scented a path, a potential opening for a hope. This may not be obvious, but his clever nose has scented a path, a potential for opening for bringing this into your life. Sometimes Ilba may be saying that a long-awaited dream has at last arrived on the scene, and there is nothing we need to do but open our hearts and minds to it. However, we usually have to work for it. Another attribute of Ilba is loyalty. Lovely. Really nice. Okay, let's pull you some tarot. So I definitely feel like, well, the cards are saying, water is very significant for you, pile number 3. Let us just make sure that people know that it's pile number 3. I'm using the Muse Tarot deck for you, pile number 3. After the rain. After the storm. It's reminding, that's After the Storm. That is a song by Kali Uchis. Beautiful, beautiful song. So you might have some messages in that. 3 of Voices, which is the 3 of Swords. 4 of Voices, which is the 4 of Swords. King of Cups. In this deck, it's the Muse of Emotions. Let's pull you some more tarot and see what else Spirit wants to tell you about how you're missed. Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Materials in this deck. The Devil. Justice. Justice came out in pile 1. Temperance. And you've got the Queen of Emotions, which is the Queen of Cups. So you've got the King and the Queen of Cups. Both. You've got 2 queens. And they're both the feminine elements. Queen of Earth, Queen of Pentacles, and Queen of Emotions. So how you're missed, pile number 1. I feel like you're very loving. When you leave, you're grieved. People have to grieve the fact that you're gone. They have to heal from losing you. They don't know. They're overwhelmed by emotion. Look at all this water energy. And King and Queen of Materials. And then we have the devil here. I think people get very attached to you. And the people who don't appreciate you for you, and who are not able to give you your props, who are not able to respect you, I think that they really suffer. People who are not able to honor their relationship with you and show up in a balanced form and reciprocity in relationship with you, they really, really experience a heartache when you leave. And they have to heal from that. I mean, that's a choice, whether they choose to do that or not. They probably blame you, but you may have to heal when you... okay, put it this way. You have incredible depth. You have incredible intuition. You have incredible nurturing energy. And you are giving. I'm seeing, so much giving energy. But in order to be able to give, we also need to be able to receive. And if you're around people that are not able to give to you, you can get very depleted. The other thing is, until we learn how to master this water energy, our intuition, and our emotions, I'm seeing the ocean, and the ocean is, the waves. I used to sail, and lots of things can happen in the ocean. So in protected waters, and I think you offer protected waters. In protected waters, it's more flat, and you can go across the ocean, and you can go across, let's say, a bay or an inlet, and it can be nice and pleasant sail. But once you go out into the deep ocean, there's large swells. And that's where the seasickness can come in. So I think that you offer a real sense of protection in an emotional space. I feel like you're basically an emotional support person. You're the emotional support animal for a lot of people, and that's not fair. People need to learn how to do their own emotional support. They can get an emotional support animal. They can they can learn how to regulate their own emotions. They can exercise. There's an infinite number of tools out there on how to do that. And when people just expect you to do their emotional work for them, you can't do that anyway. It's a logical fallacy. You can't do somebody's emotional work for them. But that you, in your presence, they feel your help, your depth. They feel seen. But when they're not able to return that to you, you get depleted. And it's reminding me, we read this is a call to dust off your dreams. You may have got like pulled down into the depths of other people's stuff. I'm also seeing Scorpio now. So Scorpio is stagnant water. And it deals with a lot of taboos. And of course, we have the devil card here. So other people's money, taboos, things that we don't want to look at, things that we don't like about ourselves, the darkness. And I think you're the king of emotions and the queen of emotions. When you have that mastery of being able to regulate your emotions and being able to use that emotional energy to drive yourself forward in life, that people don't always recognize that. They just think that that's how you are. And that might be to a degree, but it still takes, you're still in a human body, and you still have hopes, wishes, and dreams of your own. And hopes, wishes, and dreams, and a right to your own choices in your own life. And if you're busy running around being pulled on by people who want you to use that energy to feed them, so you might be very empathic. So now I'm seeing the rescue, victim, persecutor triangle, and also the narcissist empath dynamics. So you may have come into contact with a lot of narcissistic types that can lead to incredible amounts of pain, grief that require healing. You may have had to go like literally into the depths. Also, turtle spirit, slow and steady wins the race. So I don't think you were ever looking for to make a deal with the devil, to have that quick fix, to sell your soul. You're very creative and you're a natural queen of pentacles and a natural king and queen of emotions. You're the king and queen of emotions. You have a natural affinity to be able to alchemize your emotions. But if you're gaslit all the time, for example, and you're projected on, and you're not recognized as being a powerhouse, and that takes time, energy to temper out, to be these people. And maybe in order to become your own queen of pentacles, maybe you had to let go of your attachments to people who did not honor that in you. And I think that now, when you leave those relationships, the script gets flipped. The turtle spirit is also, the turtle lives in his home. Home is where the heart is. And we've got green energy here. I know it's getting dark here, so it's hard to see. Well, let me turn on the light. It's hard to see the colors of the cards. Hopefully that's a little bit better. But I think you're just so loving and so beautiful. And look at her. She's holding her heart, and she's raised up to the heavens. And bodies of water here. I feel like you probably get a lot of downloads. There's definitely, from this card, I'm really actually getting, there's this sadness in it. It's like, there was grief that you had to process. And you may have been driven away from a goal, a dream that you shelved to kind of look after other people. Maybe you were just always nurturing other people. Maybe you just felt the weight of their emotions so much that you might have been overly attached to certain relationships, or even some empaths can be drawn into, it's great to be able to feel what other people are feeling, but it can also be very overwhelming. I'm getting overwhelmed a lot for this group, because when you're so highly sensitive, and there's a Sensitive is the New Strong is a book. It can be great to be able to feel what other people feel, but it can also be very, very overstimulating, and it can be a lot. And, when you're in that loving kind of energy and you kind of need to go within, people might see it as a betrayal, and they're like, how very dare you not help me? Again, not recognizing the time and the energy that it takes for you to temper out and be these powerhouses of your own emotions. And for other people not being willing to do that, it could lead them to you leaving, which is bringing them heartache, grief, and a call to healing. But I really am getting very strongly that, there is that dream, whatever it was for you, that you didn't engage in because you were so busy taking care of other people. So I'm getting strong rescuer, people pleaser vibes here, empath. So, and that again attracts a lot of, can attract a lot of people who want to plug into that and use that to move themselves forward. I remember having a dance teacher in New York, and her saying that, like, she was, she was like, I've got the tools now, but I remember her saying, like, I feel like I'm pouring into other people, and I'm watching my little ducks fly, sail off and down the river, but I'm still here, and I haven't invested in myself. And since she made that there was one of her ducks, somebody that she was really, really loved, they ran into some difficulty, and I obviously am not going to go into it, but it ran into a health issue, and it was a wake-up call for her, and she did stop doing her role as teacher nurturer. She dusted off an old dream, and she performs now. What she was teaching, she delved into it in a way and did something completely so creative and so beautiful, and something that so spoke to her soul. So you may have something like that, been through something like that yourself, where there was a dream that you feel like you didn't do or you couldn't do, that you're now being invited to revisit. And look at his crown chakra. Like, you're probably getting downloads, and there is an eclipse coming up. When I'm recording this, it's 2025. It's February. There's 2 eclipses in March, and then 6 months down the road, there's 2 eclipses again in big eclipses. And there's a wackadoodle astrology happening right now. So it's a good time to dust off those old dreams. And the astrology is really helping us at the moment to actually use our emotions to be able to move ourselves forward. It's a great time for healing. There's so much purging going on. I don't know about you guys, but I am having dreams like crazy. And last night, for example, I'm just going to share this. Last night in my dream, at one point, I was seeing like human size leeches. And I was standing up, looking down, going, what are those? And they were human-sized leeches. So I don't know what I'm purging, but I'm feeling like that could be part of the message for you guys as well. Maybe you have people around that were leeching your energy and preventing you from whatever that dream is. Or maybe there's bunches of dreams, or maybe you're a multi-potentialite. There's like, you're so creative that there's so many things that you could possibly do. I'm being called to pick another card for you, the For Love of Dragons. Interesting. I actually didn't pick up that deck, but I'm going to. So this is the journey of love and coming together. So you coming together with yourself, and coming together with your soul fam, and coming together with your with your dream, being reunited with your inner child, your dream, whatever that is for you. I am going to pick a for the Love of Dragons card for you as well, because that came up. And we have the tender. So tend to your dreams. You're being invited to go within and reconnect with your heart, and just explore. It's not that you are to, in a playful way, just allow yourself to engage with it in a adventurous, imaginative way, and just to play in the imagination of it and see what comes out. I also want to pull a couple of these cards for you, because I feel like you might have been through, I'm getting a kind of a melancholy feeling from this energy. And I feel like that you have been through a lot of, you have dealt with a lot of emotions of other people. And I'm getting a heaviness and deep sea. Oh, wow. Look, we've got 2 turtles again. This is integration, forgive self, others, reunion, let go of defense, open the door. So, and we've got another, look, you've got as above, so below. We've got 2 rainbows here. We've got the doves. You're being called to, I think you're starseeds. You're here on a mission. Maybe being out in nature. Again, being called to bodies of water. The turtles is the world. You have everything you need. Breathing, going within. Oh my goodness. Manifest, co-create, gratitude, divine alignment, joyful visions. You're being called to go on a vision quest. You do not need to go outside your front door if you don't want to. You can turn on YouTube, watch some nature things. Just give yourself even 5 minutes a day in the shower, maybe. Just put on some music that just connects you with freedom. Maybe remote viewing is something that you don't have to have a budget and go on an adventure. Remote viewing is something you could learn how to practice. There's actually an app that you can download. I forget what it's called. Remote viewing, I think, maybe, that you can practice. Maybe just do some visioning, but really allow your imagination to, like, close your eyes. Removal of stimuli. Just be with yourself and reconnect with your own heart is what you're being invited to do, pile number 3. You have really, really been such a loving support for other people. If you're not already doing this for yourself, you're being called to do that. And that will help you, whatever attachments others might have for you. You pursuing your dreams and being able to allow yourself the permission will inspire others, those with eyes to see and ears to hear and hearts to feel. So I think how you'll be missed, or how you are missed, is that you very naturally do this. And I think that you have been the fuel for other people to do this. And now you're being called to do it for yourself, pile number 1. And look at this. This is such a beautiful card. You are a starseed. You're being called to just... Crystals could be very soothing for you as well, like meditating on a crystal, or just, having some crystals close to your body that you're drawn to. And talk to your guides, talk to your galactic fam, and ask them to show you, because you're very, very psychic, pile number 3. And that's all I have for you. If you like my content, please feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Have an amazing rest of your day. Much love. Bye, 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 pile number 3.